My girlfriend's best friend framed me for cheating on her for love. I exposed her and destroyed her reputation, but she didn't take it well. It all started when I promised my best friend Chris that I would meet him after work, but the deadline was approaching and my social life always took a back seat to my career ambitions. When I finally closed my laptop, the clock read 23:45. That's when the phone rang, an unknown caller. I hesitated. For a second, my brain screamed, "Don't answer the phone." But curiosity, my fatal flaw, pushed me to swipe the screen. "Hello?" I answered, the word coming out, still half buried in a fog of work-induced exhaustion. "James? I need to talk to you." The voice hit me like a ton of bricks, though I didn't know why. It was familiar, but not in the way you'd think. I should have blocked it all out, but I didn't. I was too tangled up in this invisible thread that was pulling me inward. "Who is it?" I asked, half demanding. The laugh that came through the receiver was eerie. "You'll find out soon enough. But for now, let's just say I'm the one who can make or break everything you've worked for." I felt my heart clench in my chest. "What do you want?" "You don't have to worry about that. Not yet," the voice purred. "Just know that your life is not as safe as you think it is. You are being watched. Your every move, every person you talk to, and I know what you did last night." I blinked my eyes, trying to comprehend these words. My head was spinning with confusion, but the last sentence? That was the one that broke the thread of calm I was holding onto. "What do you mean? What did I do last night?" "I didn't do anything." "Oh, but you did." There was a pause, an intentional pause, and the next word sent shivers down my spine. "I saw you, with your colleague, Sarah." My breath caught in my throat. Sarah. My colleague, the one I had a casual conversation with in the break room. No more, no less. But that wasn't how they saw it, or how she saw it. "Are you threatening me?" I squeezed out, my voice betraying my trembling hands. More laughter. "I'm not threatening you, James. I'm just showing you how things can change when you play a game without knowing the rules." Before I could realize the significance of this, the call ended. I sat there looking at my phone, trying to figure out if this was some kind of cruel joke. But deep down, I knew it wasn't, because it wasn't the first time my life was like a game. I always played by the rules, followed every unspoken command, kept my head down, worked hard. But the thought that someone was pulling the strings was terrifying. The consequences began to show only the next day. When I walked into the office, Sarah was waiting for me in the lobby, her eyes twinkling nervously as she waved at me. "Hi, James," she said, her voice a little too high. "Can we talk for a second? I know things have been weird between us lately." I froze. Weird? We'd talked maybe twice in the last week. There was nothing strange about that, but her words were covered with something else. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was like a warning bell going off in my head. "I don't know what you mean," I said cautiously. She looked around, as if to make sure no one was listening, and then leaned in. "Look, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I need you to promise me that you won't go crazy." I raised an eyebrow. "Okay? The things that are happening around us," she said, her voice trembling, "they're not just random. Someone is playing with us." I almost laughed. "What are you talking about?" Sarah's eyes darted to the door again. "They know, James. They know everything, and I think I know who they are." Her words hit me with the force of a freight train. The same airy voice, the same words echoed in my head. Someone was watching. "Who?" I asked. "Not here." Later, Sarah whispered, and then quickly turned on her heels and disappeared into the maze of cubicles. I stood there, uncertainty coursing through my veins. What the hell was going on? And, more importantly, why was Sarah involved in this? As I froze in place, I felt my phone jingle in my pocket again. I pulled it out and saw a text message. No name, just a number. "I told you, James. Don't trust her. She's playing a part in this game." I froze, my fingers trembling as I typed my response. "Who is this?" The answer came almost instantly. "Does it matter? The truth will come out soon enough. Be careful who you trust." The text made no sense, but the warning was clear. Something was wrong. Something was dangerously wrong, and the more I tried to avoid it, the deeper I was sucked in. The game had begun, and I didn't even know the rules. I stood there, my heart pounding in my chest, and Jenny's words hanging in the air like a heavy fog. She had already come so far, already so entangled in the web that Chelsea had woven, that it seemed impossible to break through it. There was no trust left in her eyes. She had always been the one to defend Chelsea, the one to say she would never lie to me. She's my best friend. But now, when I looked at her, I saw something worse than anger on her face. It was disappointment. And it was worse than any accusation she could have thrown at me. "I don't know what to say anymore," I whispered, feeling the weight of the moment fall on me. But she wasn't going to say anything. "There's nothing to talk about. I already know what's going on." With that, she turned on her heels and I saw her walk away. I wanted to run after her, grab her by the shoulders and make her come to her senses.
But I didn't, because deep down, I knew the damage was already done. Chelsea had done her job. It was over. The girl I loved, my best friend, my everything, was slipping away, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, staring at the blank screen of my phone. The messages from that fake chat burned in my head. I knew I hadn't sent them. I hadn't even heard of the girl in the screenshots. But the doubt, oh my god, the doubt had already taken root in Jenny's mind, and nothing I said or did could erase it. Then the phone rang, the one I knew would come, but hoped I would never have to answer. "Hi," Chelsea's voice came through the phone, smooth and sweet, as if nothing had happened. Like she hadn't ruined everything in one fell swoop. "I think we need to talk." I almost threw the phone at the wall, but I didn't. I needed answers. More than that, I needed her to admit it. To admit that she was behind it all. I held back the rage that was bubbling up inside me and spoke through my teeth. "You've done enough, Chelsea. I'm done." She didn't even flinch. "Done what? We're just getting started. Don't tell me you think Jenny will come back to you after this." "No, you need me just as much as she does." "What nerve? Does she think she's helping?" "I don't need you," I replied. "You've manipulated everything, Chelsea. You fed lies, stirred up trouble, and pushed Jenny further away from me than I ever thought possible. And for what? To get what you want?" She laughed, that disgustingly confident laugh that made me want to scream. "I'm not doing this for me, James. I'm doing this for you. You need to understand what's going on. What she's doing to you." "Stop," I said, my voice trembling with frustration. "Just stop. You don't understand, do you?" Chelsea's tone changed, her voice low and slow. "You're too good for her. You're better than her. Jenny's too weak to realize it, but I've been watching over you. All this time, I've been looking out for you." These words hit me like a slap across the face. "You're crazy," she hummed as if waiting for my reaction, letting the silence fill the space between us. "Maybe I am, but you know, sometimes crazy people are the only ones who see the truth. And the truth is that you don't need it. You never have." My hands clenched into fists, my nails digging into my palms. "I don't know who you think you are, but I love her. And I'm done with this game. Whatever you're trying to do, it's over." Chelsea sighed, as if disappointed, but also strangely satisfied. "You'll see, James. You'll see how much better things can be when you stop fighting what's been right in front of you all along." The line went dead and I was left staring at my phone, unable to digest the poison she had just poured into my life. It wasn't about me anymore. It never was. It was about control. The next morning I couldn't avoid it. I had to meet her. I had to see Jenny. I didn't know if I could fix it, but I had to try. If she believed that screenshot, if she believed the lies that had been planted, then I had lost her. And there was no going back. I found her in the campus courtyard, her eyes red and puffy, the remnants of a sleepless night still visible in the way she hunched over, looking defeated. She saw me approach, but did not move. At first, she didn't even acknowledge my presence. "Jenny," I began, my voice softer than I intended. "Please, just let me explain." She didn't look at me, but I could see her shoulders tighten. "You don't need to explain. I saw everything. I saw the screenshots. I saw you with them, with her. Jenny, you have to believe me," I said, my voice choking. "None of this was real. Someone else lied to you, lied to both of us." She finally turned to me, her eyes filled with a mixture of pain and confusion. "You lied to me, James. You acted like you didn't care. You let her into our lives, and now you expect me to just forget?" "I didn't lie," I said, shaking. "You have to trust me, please." She stood up abruptly, shaking her head. "I don't know what to believe anymore. I want to trust you, but how can I?" The words pierced through me, each one more poignant than the last. It was that moment, the moment I had been dreading, the moment I was trying to avoid at all costs. "I don't know how to make you believe me," I whispered, "but I swear I've never done anything to hurt you." "Not like this." Her eyes softened for a brief second, but before I could take a step closer, she pulled away. "I need space. I need time to think about it." And then she was gone. Again. I stood there, helpless, my heart feeling like it was slowly crushing under the weight of everything that had happened. Chelsea had won. She had succeeded in breaking us up, and now all I was left with was an empty space in my chest, an empty pain of lost trust. But as I walked back to my apartment, something inside me clicked. It wasn't over. It wasn't over yet. I didn't know how, but I was going to fix it. I wasn't going to let Chelsea's lies win. And if I had to burn everything to the ground, then so be it. The words hung in the air, burdened with the weight of years of unspoken resentment. The silence between us was suffocating, and for the first time I saw my friend in a new light, vulnerable, but still blind to what was right in front of her. I sat there, heartbroken, as the pieces of Chelsea's manipulation slowly fell into place. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about what I had done. It was something much deeper, something that started before I came into their lives. I always knew that Chelsea had a special influence on my girlfriend, but I never thought it went this far. I looked at her, hoping she'd understand, but her eyes kept looking away, as if she was trying to run away from the truth I just revealed. But it was so long ago, she said quietly, almost to herself, as if trying to convince herself that what Chelsea did wasn't so bad. She's my best friend. She's always been there for me. She manipulated you, Jenny, I said in a strained voice, barely able to contain my irritation. She poisoned everything, our relationship, your trust in me, everything. She has been turning you against me, and she's been doing it for months. Jenny shook her head again, a bitter laugh escaping her lips. This isn't about Chelsea, this is about us. You've been lying to me, you've been hiding something, and now you're using Chelsea as an excuse. It was like a slap in the face. I laid out everything, the truth, the evidence, and it still wasn't enough. She clung to her version of reality like a lifeline, unwilling to see the truth. I wasn't just fighting Chelsea anymore. I was fighting the walls Jenny had built around herself, walls made of years of false loyalty, of the toxic foundation of a friendship that had been stewing in the dark for too long. I ran a hand through my hair, trying to suppress the anger that was building inside me. Do you think I want this, Jenny? I leaned in, my voice barely above a whisper. Do you think I want to fight you over Chelsea? I don't. I never have. I just want you to see the truth. I just want to be with you like we used to be. Before this mess. Before Chelsea made everything about her. She didn't look at me. Her eyes were fixed on the floor, the weight of the truth too much to bear. For a second, I thought that maybe I had gotten through to her. Perhaps she was beginning to realize how deeply Chelsea held her. But then, as if snapped out of a trance, she stood up abruptly, her face frozen. You don't understand, do you? You don't understand how much I've lost by trusting you, believing in you. The words struck like lightning, and I froze. What are you talking about? Are you angry with me? After everything Chelsea did? Everything? She repeated, her voice filled with emotion. I don't know who to believe anymore. You lied to me, and so did she. Maybe you're both the same. Maybe you were always just pretending. Maybe you never cared about me. These words hit me harder than I could have expected. I always thought she knew how much I cared about her, how much I loved her. But now I realized how many doubts had been sown in her mind. How much Chelsea had twisted everything until it was impossible to determine who the real enemy was. I tried, I said, my words coming out hoarse and desperate. I tried to prove to you that I love you, that I would never do anything to hurt you. But I can't do this alone, Jenny. I need you to trust me. I need you to see what Chelsea did. She took a step back, her face flushed with the struggle between truth and emotion. Her back was turned to me, her shoulders hunched with pride, or was it shame? I couldn't tell anymore. Maybe I was a fool, she whispered so softly that I could barely hear. Maybe I was always to blame for not seeing it, for not realizing what Chelsea was really like. I wanted to reach out, to hug her, to tell her it wasn't her fault. But I didn't. I couldn't. There was nothing to say. The walls between us had grown too high, too thick, and Chelsea was building them one brick at a time. I need time, she said, her voice barely audible now. I need to figure out who I can trust. I don't know if it's you anymore. Her words were final, cold, and they pierced me in a way I can't even explain. This was not the girl I knew, the one who smiled when we were together, who shared her dreams with me. It was someone else, someone lost in the chaos that Chelsea had created. I watched her walk away, her silhouette disappear into the hallway, and realized with sickening clarity that I had lost her. I had lost her because of a lie, because of Chelsea, because of everything. When the door closed behind her, I felt the silence pressing down on me. I was alone, really alone, and I knew that nothing would ever be the same again. I watched her walk away, the door closing quietly behind her, sealing everything we had ever had in common. The silence that followed was deafening, the weight of the moment crushing me in a way I hadn't expected. There were no harsh words, no angry accusations, just a quiet sadness that froze in the space between us. For the first time I realized, it was over. It was the end. I stood there, frozen, trying to comprehend what had just happened. The arguments, the accusations, the endless nights of doubt, all of it had led up to this last moment. I tried so hard to show her the truth, to prove that I wasn't the man Chelsea had painted me to be. But it wasn't enough. Chelsea played her card too well. Lies, manipulations, they had already woven a web that was impossible to escape. I tried to fight it. I confronted Chelsea, told her everything, showed my girlfriend the evidence, but it didn't matter. The damage was already done. Jenny's trust in me had been shattered, and no matter how much I begged her to see the light, she couldn't or wouldn't believe it. The truth was now a specter that haunted us both. Chelsea had carried this bitterness for years, and it festered inside her until it destroyed everything we had built. She used my girlfriend's insecurities as a weapon, manipulating her, making her doubt me, making her doubt herself. And in the end, she succeeded. I sat down on the couch,
feeling the whole burden falling on me.
There was no anger or struggle left in me, only an overwhelming sadness from the realization that everything we had was gone.
My heart was empty, it ached with the loss of someone I loved.
Someone who I thought would be with me forever.
I remembered the moments when it was just the two of us, before Chelsea, before the lie. Those moments seemed so far away now, as if they belonged to someone else. When I faced my girlfriend, I saw a glimmer of understanding in her eyes.
For a moment I thought that maybe, just maybe, she would see the truth.
But instead, I saw her withdraw even further into herself, as if she couldn't face the truth.
She could not meet my eyes.
"I'm sorry," she whispered, barely audible, her voice full of regret.
I thought we could fix this, but I don't know how. And then I realized, I knew we couldn't fix it, not anymore.
The trust had been destroyed beyond repair. The lies had done their job. Chelsea had succeeded in destroying everything, and now all I could do was watch it all crumble to dust. The end came quietly, and that was the hardest part.